let's directly jump into the World Labs Unity kit we created. Um, yeah, uh, I will just directly share with you what you can do with it. Uh, it gives you the opportunity to create 3D worlds with World Labs API directly from inside Unity. It's You're able to create worlds and load worlds from within the runtime of Unity, for example, on an XR headset or on a emulator like the new Pico emulator, for example. But you will be also able to import and create worlds directly from inside the editor, like you can see it here on the right side already as a preview. And yes, built to be really simple to get started in Unity. Um, Yeah, and basically it's rendering these splats in Unity. There's some changes you need to do to your project, but yeah, we will describe everything to you, and we also describe it in our GitHub. And if you experience any problems, then just contact us directly in Discord. We will offer you a channel for that, as well as on the repository itself.
Tomorrow we will
And
actually share the repository and the resources link for Notion and also Discord channel that you can ask questions during the hack info session. You will have all the links and details you will need to start with.
exactly. Okay. And yeah, with that, we will jump directly into Unity and I will show you how to build everything. But before we do that, like we just talked about it, this is the repository we will provide to you. You can see here like a preview of, let's reload it. You can see a preview of what it would look like in Unity to build with this kit. And it's basically build a wrapper around the Word Labs API, as well as using this Gaussian splatting renderer, which we just explained to you. And it's built on top of the package from RSP. So everything is still quite experimental. But yeah, we try to help you to make it really simple to get started. And basically you save like 20 hours, which is quite a lot of time at the hackathon, because this time you would have around about needed to set everything up. So yeah, what do we need first? We need Unity. We recommend this version right here because we tested it with it, but you can also try it with different versions dependent on your setup. You should have the universal render pipeline activated or create your project with it. And it has some dependencies, but these will be completely automatically installed. So just in theory, if you want to create a new project in Unity, you would go here to the Unity Hub, which you need to download. And you can say, okay, I want to create a new project. Like I said, I use this version now. And you just give it a name. And just really important here to use the universal 3D template, which is what we just showed here in the GitHub repository. I would really suggest you really sticking to this information here on the GitHub. Go through it step by step, because one missing setting can really change if it's working or not. And if you just overjumped one step, maybe it will be hard later to find it again. So if you create a project like this, Unity will actually open up. Probably will have a different scene over here. But that would be what will happen. And the first step, if you want to create your project with the Unity Word Labs toolkit, would be that you need to install a package. It's the Word Labs Unity package. Would you download, copy the link? You would go to the package manager, and here and you would go to this plus and say install package from a Git URL. You paste it in here and you install it. In this case, that already happened. And here you can see the installed kit. What is important is as soon as you install it, you can go to samples here. There's a SensAI sample, and you need to import it, which provides you with already generated prefabs for your scene and start environment so that you can get started really easy. So after you did this, you actually need to create an API key, which you can create in WordLabs API platform over here. And yeah, you just need to go to the API area. You go and create key, you give it a name, press on create key, and I created it. I deleted it again because I don't have already a key. And yeah, you have a key. And this key you need to put into a new file which you create. It's called .env in the asset folder. And you just paste it in there. And that gives you the permission to access the World Labs API from within the Unity editor, as well as in the runtime where it is automatically included in your build. Exactly. And if you copy this link, so if you install the package, you have this extra menu point up here. It's called WordLabs. And if you click on it, there's a WordLabs Unity integration, which is the editor tool we provide to you. You can already see here a lot of words loading. And you can actually go to settings here. Sometimes it can be hidden. Maybe you need to click on reload or retry or creating a file. It will be automatically appearing here. And when you click just on open the env file, you paste the API key you created. And after that, you just press on reload API key here to activate it. And as soon as you did this, you should be able to already see your created words over here. What is possible then already is that you can create a new word or import words from files and yeah, fill everything up. But before that, before we go into creation of words, I just want to go through resetting with you because I said we need to make it step by step. So we put the API key in our thing, in our application and everything is working. The next step we will need to do is the graphics API settings. And if you want to see something on Windows, for example, you would need to activate the graphics setting D3D12 or Vulkan. And if you want to build for Linux, Android, or XR headsets, you need to activate the Vulkan settings. So for that, I will just go into the project settings here, and I will go on player. And right now I'm in the Android layer, so I put Vulkan as the highest graphics API. So we prefer graphics API here. And for Windows itself, so that the word shows up here in the editor itself, you would need to use direct 3D 12. If you have, for example, 11, then you need to remove it and use 12. That's a requirement which is necessary. The next one would be to go to the URP render configuration. And for it, you need to locate first your URP render data settings. So for that, I will just go here to settings and go to my settings of my active rendering. So for example, if I'm talking about XR headsets, I would use the mobile one. If I talk about on the PC VR, for example, then I would take the PC renderer. And now we see what we need to do here. First, we need to add a renderer feature, which is the Gaussian splat URP feature to the URP renderer. So for the mobile, I already did this here. So you would be able to click here on Add Renderer feature and click on Gaussian Splat URP feature, which you can see it's already existing here. The same for a PC renderer. If you want to do PC application, for example, you would also need to add this renderer feature here. Then there's recommended settings for the mobile and XR. So it's that you need to turn on the depth texture, turn on HDR, and turn off MSAA. And we just go here again to the settings. We select the mobile RP asset, for example, and we just go up here. You see I already activated the depth texture. I activated HDR, and I deactivated MSAA. I did the same for the PC probably, but because I built for mobile here, this is the important one. So there's two more settings we need to do. One is the render graph, where we need to activate the compatibility mode. So for that, we go to project settings. We go to graphics, and we just go here in URP all the way down to render graph. And you can see here's the compatibility mode, which probably is deactivated, but you need to activate it for this application to work properly. So just set the hook here, even if you get a warning for that. That's what you need to do right now. And the last step you would need to do yourself here manually, and when you are done already, is to activate the multipass function or multipass rendering mode in the project settings. So we go here down to the XR plugin. Now I need to swatch again myself. Project settings, XR plugin management, OpenXR. So to I don't have it here right now myself. Because in this case, okay, I don't use the OpenXR here, I use the Pico option, and Pico already have the multipass here. If you would have OpenXR here, you probably need to set this multipass in the OpenXR plugin setting, which will be here. And that's all the manual settings you need to do to have your project running. And everything after that in the description is about how you use the tool, what different assets exist, etc. But that I will show you just directly here in the application itself. So the first step, if you want to create a new world directly from within your editor, you would click on the Word Labs Unity integration over here. You already see it. There's different worlds I created. Just for example, with Colosseum here, for example. If you could click on View, then it would open up the Marble website. You can see a preview on Marble itself, which will load like this. Alternative would be you import it directly into your scene. You can click here on import, Gaussian splat, and you can import it in a different size. I would now go for 100,000 points because it's really efficient. It's the smallest one. And there's a different compression settings you can do to make it more efficient. It's compressing it down a bit internally of Unity. I would just suggest you to go with medium. And here's the setting if you want to directly load it into the scene. For now, we just activate it and he will start importing it. And as soon as it's done, you see he is directly really importing it into the scene. And you have your first Gaussian stats here in Unity. Okay, what you can first see is that there's one component here on the right side, which is the Gaussian splat renderer. This is specifically the asset you need if you want to build a word model directly in the editor. If you want to build something in runtime, there's a different component, but you will see that soon. And there's just a lot of settings you can do here about how you want to render it. There's nothing you need to change or do here. You can see there's the asset here. It points to the folder where your world got imported. You can see here also the panorama of it, the raw file, and some helper files. And in theory, if you have multiple worlds already imported in the editor here, you could also just change this asset here programmatic in the program or in the script and just change your world. That would be one way to achieve that. Alternative would be if you want to have a one-time application, then you could go to the samples we imported here. It's the WordLab samples, it's the SensAI sample. And you see here's already like a sample world, a Gaussian splat asset. And you see there's a lot of prefabs, or actually just one prefab. And you can just drop this asset into the environment. And yeah, if you will have a graphical or canvas with some basic settings for creating new worlds or scrolling through pages of worlds. And the only thing which is important here is the two components, WordLabs World Manager and World Browser Controller. So the WordLabs World Manager gives you the opportunity to say during runtime, do you want to import worlds in low quality or high quality? I would just go for low quality here first to show it. Which resolution you want to have, for example, 500,000 splats or 100,000 splats. I just to show everything, I will go with the smallest one. And then there's a world parent. It's just the parent where if you load a world, where will be the world anchored to. I would just use a empty game object here for that. It's just an empty game object, which I will drop here as a parent. And is there any default asset you want to load when the application starts? For that, we have a example environment, the purple environment you saw before already. And there's one hook here. It's basically just mirroring the entire world upside down and vice versa, because sometimes these splats can be different orientated, and I just added it here so that if it's wrongly orientated, this one would turn it around. And yeah, we have some actions on the object here. If you want to activate different actions based on the world progress, then you can start them from here. And the second part here is basically just about the user interface. It's the world browser controller. In the prefab we provide, all of this is already connected correctly. The only thing you could set here is the World Labs manager, which you can just set here. And I just realized I have a second one already existing over here. And the other only important setting you need to do here is in the runtime, do you want to create worlds with the mini model of World Labs or the plus model? And the mini model is really fast, probably less than a minute to create a world, and just doesn't have the highest quality, but therefore also is much cheaper, like 12 cents per world. And I think that's 170 credits around about. And the plus model would create like a high quality worlds, what you probably want to have if you want to showcase it in a video, for example. But it also takes a bit more than a minute to create, and it's also like 10 times that's expensive. So if you just want to create a draft, just opt for the mini here. And yeah, that's all the settings you would need to have to you would need to have to do to create worlds in runtime. Um, how do you test everything now? And usually that's the time point where we put on an XR headset now and just deploy to that. And you probably everyone heard about this new project Swan, which was announced by Pico, ByteDance, just 1 day ago or 2 days ago. And they also provide an emulator which you can use. And that's something we wanted to show you today, how you could just emulate XR headset and especially the newest XR headset, the Project Swan. Um, so for that, you just need to search for resources from Pico, and we have a workshop about it tomorrow. If you want to see more in detail how all the setup works, I just show it shortly to you. And if you want to see more, you can join us tomorrow. So basically, there's some documentation here of how to set everything up. I have it open here already. Basically, you need to install this Android Studio, and you have a simulator advanced here. We show you the steps tomorrow if you want to join. But yeah, you would just create a simulator or emulator here in Android Studio. It just takes some time to do. Exactly. And you can also close Android Studio after it started. Starting, yes. And it's basically simulating this entire Project Swarm and yeah, people headsets. It just needs some time to load. I think it's okay with my screen capture that it's yeah, my laptop is good enough. But yeah, there we go. So now you can see we have this emulator of a XR environment. We can move through it, and we can go here to the home and we can install applications. You can install APKs by just dropping them inside. Or you can also, yeah, you can create this application now we put here, and we put one time. So you can see here now we even find the emulator here, so you could directly build to the emulator. But because that would take some time now, I already created this APK before of the scene you're seeing here. And I can just drop the APK into the emulator and install the app into it. So you don't even need the project Swarm right now to already create applications for it like this World Labs. And as soon as it's installed, you can find this application here in your apps. And I would now just start this as an example. Exactly, you see the Unity program starting, and you see this environment we saw here in Unity before. It's loading the previews of the images. I can run around here, I can move around in the environment. And yeah, there's a lot of different settings. If you want to know more, join us tomorrow. Yeah, so there's already a lot of worlds existing here. I could just click now on one and she's loading it. There's a bug right now. If you load it the first time, it's not working, but now you see at the second one it's running. So this is just some example worlds I just created beforehand. You can see it's not the highest quality because we didn't choose the highest quality setting, but you can experiment a bit what your system is also allowing you to do, and you can just load all these models. What is also possible, like you said, you can create your own model. For that, I would use the keyboard here, and I just say uh, I don't have a good idea right now, a modern kitchen. And I just created by clicking on create world here. You see he's bringing us back to the start world. And he's starting generating our new environment right now. This can take shortly. Yes. Meanwhile, it's loading. I realized I didn't show it in the tool over here in the editor. If you want to build a world model directly in the editor, you can also do that by just going to create world over here and also just putting in your prompt here. You can also choose, do you want to use the mini model or the plus model? Depends on if you have a draft or not. You can give the name to the world, and you can also choose, do you want to put a text prompt? Do you want to put the image as the input? Then you can put a URL in the internet to it. Or do you want to use the image file where you can choose a file here from your system, or even like a video URL. So you have all the options to create your worlds directly in the editor here. But for now, let's watch if we created the worlds here in the Pico emulator, Pico Project Swan emulator. And you can see in less than a minute, he created a complete 3D world here. Yeah,